Regular board meeting of the Lethbridge School Division. We welcome you here to our very first all online forum. Today we're meeting on the traditional territory of the Blackfoot people. So it's good to have you all here with us today. So today we'll start with the approval of the agenda. Can I have a motion to approve, please? Donna. Call to question, all in favor? So moved. Thank you. Now we move on to approval of the minutes. Are there any errors, comments, questions from the minutes of our regular board meeting of November 24th? If not, can I have a motion to approve?
Also move.
Thank you, Jan. Call to question, all in favor? So moved unanimously. Is there any business arising from the minutes? All right, seeing none, we will move on to our action items. Action item 5.1, Technology Evergreen Plan. And I believe we have Jesse Sudlowski with us, as well as Mark DeBoer joining our meeting. Welcome, Jesse. Christine, if you could introduce them, that would be great.
Thank you very much, Christine. I'm pleased to have Jesse Sudlowski, Director of Technology Innovation, and Mark DeBoer, our Director of Finance, with us here today. The Board of Trustees asked the Finance and Technology Department to take a look at what it would cost and what we'd need to do in order to purchase mobile computing devices that need upgrading, such as laptops and iPads. And if we could, in fact, purchase those using some of the one-time funds we'll be receiving from the sale of the school buses due to our transition of busing with the City of Lethbridge. Further to that, the board also asked us to look at what does it mean to actually put that into an evergreening plan on a go-forward basis. And so I'm going to turn it over to Jesse, who's going to talk about the more pressing item that we need to discuss is related to the purchase of those laptops and iPads as requested. I'll turn it over to Jesse.
Sorry, I just had
Jesse, you're muted.
There we go. That's better. So currently we have schools with varying amounts of laptops and iPads. We're having a mid-prioritizing technology where some are just using their funds to do different things. We're basically looking at taking these mobile, let's call them mobile devices or portable devices like laptops and iPads, and taking it from a site-based decision to a central-based decision. The idea or the purpose of this would be to do a one-time purchase of laptops or iPads based on an equitable formula that would give schools a base number of devices. The formula is based on student enrollment with a minimum level is set. So for our smaller schools that don't have equitable numbers or their numbers are smaller, they would still get enough for classroom sets. I think that was talked a little bit about earlier. There seems to be a need for the iPads at the younger grades, where the high schools and the middle schools have very little to none in this plan. But it is an equitable formula. The plan for 2021 to be purchase a base level of these devices for schools to start with a centralized model and moving forward to adding it into an evergreening plan. It would be purchased for the 2021 school year at an estimated cost of around $1.17 million. And then going forward, adding that to an evergreen plan. Schools this year that have purchased devices would be reimbursed for those costs for those devices that they purchased this year. And schools that have unique programs like Senator Joyce Fairburn would actually be part of this because they would have a top-up of devices for their school, for the students that when they're running into the negatives with their program, if they have broken devices or students not affording devices, they do have some school endured costs because of their current program. So this would help them top them up and to help with those costs. So really to try to create an equitable plan for our schools that's sustainable and bringing it into a centralized model. Mark, do you want to talk anything about that?
No, nothing much to add other than if we do look at this one-time purchase, we'll be looking to consult with the schools in the near future to come up with a plan to build it into our Evergreen program.
Great, thank you so much. It's definitely equity between our schools, equity between our students is definitely something that we want to see happen. Is there any discussion from board members regarding the Evergreening plan? Seeing none and hearing none, if I could have a board member please pass the amended motion that can be found in the chat screen. Is somebody going to please read that?
Would like to make the motion.
Sorry, what was that, Cheryl?
Lola Majors would like to make the motion.
Wonderful, thank you, Lola. Please go ahead.
Okay, I move to approve that the board authorize the technology department to purchase the necessary laptops and iPads that need replacement in our schools funded through pending and subject to the development of an Evergreen Plan in consultation with the schools.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, call to question. All in favor? I need people to turn on their screens, please. I need people to turn on their screens so I can see your votes, please. Screens. If you could please type in the chat yes or no to the motion, that would be appreciated.
There it is.
So all in favor, if you are a yes, please type yes or in favor in the chat.
So for people to get to the chat, at the bottom where it says request control, there's a little box there beside it that you can click on and that'll open up your chat. Should be a bar where it says live.
I have 3 votes. I need 3 more, please.
I can't find it here.
I can't either. I can't find chat.
Okay, do you Donna, was that you?
Yeah.
You voted, Donna. I have a
Okay.
yes for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jan, when you move your mouse, do you see the head of a telephone in a red box on a tool? Do you see that? And then a link
Can I
that says
just pop
request.
in, Christine?
Yes, please.
Christine, Jan, you could just give us your vote on the microphone. You can tell us yes or no.
Okay,
Yes or opposed.
yes.
Tyler, are you with us? Doug, are you with us? Well, considering the circumstances, I believe we need to revisit this motion when our board members are able to put in their votes. We have the three. Am I able to just make a friendly amendment to the agenda and push it down? Leanne, am I able to do that, or Christine? Can I put it right before the reports?
I'm not
Yeah.
sure, Christine. That's Christine Lee.
Yes, you can table a point of privilege. We can table this motion until the technology is worked out.
And I think we can take, Christine Lee, can we take pause to get all of the board members hooked up to this meeting, because we've clearly lost a couple of them in the transition.
Yes, I think maybe if we could just take if you could declare a quick recess for while we get the technology worked out.
All right, so I'll declare a 5-minute recess and we will try and find our board members and come back to this motion. Thank you. So, I'll call our meeting back into order. We're gonna go back. We were voting on the motion that Lola has read out in regards to moving forward with an evergreening plan. And so we're gonna go ahead with our vote. I'm not gonna have Lola read the motion again, but I will call on you individually for your vote as I'm unable to see everyone on my screen. Okay, so in agreement or opposed? Doug?
Agreed.
Lola? Lola, are you there? Oh, Lola has agreed via chat. Thank you, Lola. Donna?
Agree.
Clark?
Opposed.
Thank you, Clark. And Jan?
Agree.
Agree. All right. In a vote of 4-1 with Tyler absent, the motion is carried.
I'm sorry, Christine, what was your vote?
It's 4-1 and Tyler is absent.
I know, but did you vote?
Am I allowed to vote?
Yes, you have to vote.
Okay, thank you. Then I am for. Yeah. Thank you, Christine. So the motion is carried. And conversation will happen to carry forward the plan. Conversation will happen with administrators. Thank you. All right, so we're going to move on. Division highlights. If anybody has a highlight that they would like to cheer out, please raise your hand or just go ahead and speak out if that is easier.
I'd just like to make a comment. A number of the schools are, doing their best to normalize everything with the last week of school and celebrations and the upcoming Christmas holidays. And they're doing it in I guess a COVID-friendly way, and they're doing it. And I know some of the schools, when kids come in, there's music playing. They're doing activities, and it's really nice to see that our staff, all staff, teachers and assistants and caretakers are all doing their best to at this time of year. And so I give them, I applaud them all for their efforts.
Thank you, Doug. Yes.
This is Cheryl. Tyler is on the live events, but he can through my phone, convey his votes or any comments.
Oh, thank you. Let's do that. Tyler.
You won't be able to hear him, Christine. I'll have to have Lola or myself convey what he says.
Okay, thank you. So we'll just jump to Tyler now. Tyler, are you able to express for or opposed for the vote or any comments?
Tyler, can you hear?
Cheryl, I'm not sure if you're intending it or not, but you're muted at the moment. All right, thank you. I see in the chat that Tyler votes in support of the motion for the Evergreening plan. Thank you, Tyler. All right, we will jump back to highlights. Doug shared a highlight. Does anybody else have a highlight to share? I think I'm highlighting and excited about what is to come, which is a much needed 2-week break, even though our break, and I'm tired of saying it really, is not going to be what it always is. But I think it's a much needed and much deserved break for our students, for all of our staff. And so I'm excited for the rest to come. And I hope that truly, even though it isn't what we would all hope it would be in the grander picture of things, that there would be rest and joy and excitement in those 2 weeks, and that there would be that people would be able to come into the new year 2021. It's going to be a great year. I feel it, and people are going to start the new year with rejuvenized energy. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, we will move forward with our information items. Our board chair report. We have a list of schools for board donations in lieu of Christmas treats. So for the past number of years, the board has made donations on behalf of each staff group to charities that are identified by each school. And this practice was put into place in lieu of some form of token of appreciation from the board in years prior. And so the board continues with this practice, making a $50 donation on behalf of each staff grouping to a charitable organization identified by the staff. And so I'm not sure if we're able to put a list of those charities up, but there is definitely a diverse grouping of charities that will be supported over the Christmas break by the schools of Lethbridge School Division. So thank you to the staff for supporting these essential charities. I know this is a year where many are turning to charities and they are in much need of support. So thank you for that. Now we are going to move on to our associate superintendent's reports. I've asked the associate superintendents to please not necessarily read through their reports page by page, but to pull through a couple of highlights from their reports. So Christine, let's start with you with business affairs, please.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you very much. Yes, my report is attached, and I think I want to just highlight a couple things related to facilities, because facilities is always exciting. Really pleased to see that our Westminster and Buchanan projects are starting to wrap up. I know those schools have been so excited to have those projects done with bright new classrooms and ventilation, and what a change in those schools. I was in Wilson Middle School today in that the West Wing that we were able to do with our CMR stimulus money, and it's almost completed as well. There are a few things that will be put on hold pending students not being in warmer weather, so probably closer to the summer. And but if you recall that pink bathroom that was way at the end of the hall that well, you didn't even want to go in there. Well, it's gone, and there is a wonderful bright bathroom there that's going to be perfect for those students. So we're pretty excited about it, and really just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year on behalf of the Business Affairs Department. That's my report.
Thank you so much, Christine. Are there any questions for Christine and her report? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to Human Resources. Mike.
Hi, everyone. Just a few things. As you can see, there was quite a bit of movement in terms of teacher contracts over the past few weeks, and especially recently here. And that's just related to a number of the teacher contracts that came through with the COVID federal funding expired at December 18th, and we were able to extend many of those. So that was really good news. Happy to do that. In terms of sort of the other highlights part, we had a CAS 6 meeting, which is a meeting of school divisions in southern Alberta, and it was right after the new restrictions were announced by the government, and I just wanted to say how helpful that was to get a sense of what other school divisions are doing. And as you well know, one of the challenges with the pandemic is that a lot of this is uncharted territory, and so it's nice to know what other divisions are doing and share ideas. And fortunately, Rhonda Oss is she's responsible for organizing the HR meetings, and I'm the president of CAS 6 this year, so we're able to make sure that we're addressing those issues that are timely in those meetings, and they've been really helpful. And then just on the last page, in terms of the new government mandated restrictions, obviously that anytime we have changes to what we're doing, that causes a lot of questions, especially in the human resources area. And so we spent a lot of time working with school-based administrators, particularly sharing with them information, answering questions, those sorts of things. And you know what it's like when we get an announcement fairly suddenly. We have to move fairly quickly and try and figure out answers to a lot of these questions that are coming. And you know, our staff and our schools and everyone have done a great job dealing with all of the changes that have come recently. So, and human resources has been really happy to play a role in that. So that's it from me, unless there's questions.
Thank you, Mike. Any questions for Mike? Okay, seeing none, I will call on Morag with her Instructional Services report, please.
Thank you, Christine, and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to all of you. Really just a few quick updates. I know many parents have been starting to call our schools inquiring about early education registration for kindergarten and EAP. We are putting a hold on that until we start to get greater guidance around possible boundary changes. Wellness, we continue to do our staff wellness throwdowns, and of course also respond to really the season and the busyness of it all. And the theme of this month was just pause. So looking for opportunities to fill our buckets and celebrate what we're grateful for. We continue to hire Indigenous education staff, as we definitely have a fly in our ointment. We now have our fourth staff member who is announcing a maternity leave that is coming. So we'll just continue to hire and look for good people to fill in for our staff who will be going on maternity leave. Lastly, just a quick highlight, diversity and inclusion parent table. We've circulated out a survey questionnaire to our parent group that had elected in October last year to participate in this process as well. We're fanning out with our counselors to target our different populations that may not always get represented in our questionnaire. So we're excited to get that feedback collated and share out in the new year. Thank you.
Thank you, Morag. Any questions for Morag? All right, seeing none, we will move on to our superintendent report. And before we do that, Mike, Christine, and Marek, I just want to say thank you so much for all of the hard work and time and dedication that you've put in to these last few months. I know we've heard Minister LaGrange say a number of times she hopes that we can stay nimble. That's a word she seems to use a lot, nimble. And you have done that. I have seen each of you communicate well and serve your teams well and serve our students well by answering questions and getting staff in schools and just giving the support that they need. And you've been very approachable with our staff and just trying to answer so many questions, sometimes without tangible answers, but just with we're moving forward and we're moving forward together. And so sometimes that's all we can give. So thank you for your time and your effort and your professionalism over the past few months. It's been greatly, greatly appreciated. Cheryl, I will call on you for your superintendent report, please.
All right, the report is there for the board. I think it's pretty straightforward. And you know, I just want to take a minute and echo Christine's comments about, you know, of gratitude for the amazing work that the leadership team has engaged in over the last month, as well as school leadership. I think, you know, as we look through here, when we talk about flexibility, when we talk about being able to you know, use challenges to your advantage and leverage what it is that you do have in your school for capacity. We've got, you know, our middle schools and high schools turn to scenario 3 within 1 day. Our elementary schools will be going to scenario 3 for the first week back to school. And that doesn't go without a lot of challenges, a lot of work, and certainly great leadership in our schools. And yeah, to Instructional Services who are helping schools, and technology who are helping schools get ready for that, including Jen Giles, who's been instrumental in that, to Jesse Sadowski, and for Karen in Curriculum Services, certainly, and in terms of making sure that parents and students are supported in their homes if they have exceptionalities that need to be addressed. So it's been hard work by everyone. It's working, and I echo also that it's you know, a much needed break coming up, and I think that we're ready to roll everything out again in January. So unless there's any questions, that would be my report.
Thank you, Cheryl. Are there any questions for Cheryl? Okay, seeing none, we're going to move on to our reports. Jan, Community Engagement Committee.
Okay, you've got my report there for our last community engagement meeting. And during that meeting, we discussed the plan for our virtual scholarship breakfast, which is going to take place on Friday, February the 12th, 2021. It'll be from the virtual presentation will be from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. And it's going to be left on the division webpage for several days, so that businesses that maybe weren't able to partake in it at that particular time, and as well as high school students who would like to hear the presentation, they will be able to do that. Christine Lee has been busy contacting various businesses, and I understand has already had some success from some businesses that are going to support this breakfast. And should be noted that this 2021 will be the 5th anniversary of this scholarship breakfast, and I think it's been just really worthwhile when you see what some of these students have come forward with in their presentations. And during the presentation in February, part of it, we hope to have some past scholarship winners to share with them what they've done and where they've gone, and what their future plans are. So it should be interesting to hear that. And then, of course, Garrett is working on, and Cheryl is working on getting a keynote speaker as well. So the committee picked out a few, and we're going to be following up with them to see their availability. So it's going to be very exciting, different for sure. But I think it'll certainly move us on into future years with the success that we've had. So if anybody's got any questions.
Thank you, Jen. Any questions? All right, thank you so much, Jen, for your reports. I'm looking forward to the online event in February. Doug, Division School Council reports.
Okay, just to let everyone know, and the people in our learning community out there, we had our Division School Council meeting on December 7th. And just so you know that all the information that we have here, the minutes are online on our website. So if you want to look at that, or contact your rep from your school. We had a good turnout, and it was on Microsoft Teams, and it went quite smoothly. I'm just going to highlight just a few things. There was agenda items brought up, which were by the chairperson, but I did my trustee report and commented in our last board meeting. Cheryl did give out some general information on upcoming things that are going to be happening, particularly in the new year. Our city busing has now been given to a provider, the Southland Busing, and they are going to start, not fully take it over, but the busing, and we're looking forward to that. Also, Cheryl shared that there's going to be a public boundary presentation. It'll be virtual, and it will be on January 12th. There'll be more information coming out to all of us and also to our learning community. And then we're also looking at town hall will be on February 2nd. So that was good information that came out, and the reps really appreciated that. To start the meeting, though, we had a presentation from Kathy Mundell, who's basically in charge of counseling, health, and wellness. And what she did is she presented on social anxiety, whether it's mental health and social anxiety, whether it's with staff members, students, and families. And what she did is she talked about where people can access information if they're struggling with it in their families and that. And so she did say that there is a newsletter that's put out. It's called The Loop. And all our community, our learning community, can access that online. So, or if you need, if you have children that were struggling with some anxiety, they could contact Kathy. So anyways, it was a very good meeting, went very, very well. So that's it. If there's any questions, I think that's about it.
Thank you, Doug. Any questions for Doug? Okay, last report is the Poverty Intervention Committee. We met on December 9th, and the report is there in front of you. I'm just going to highlight a couple of things. We have a great link on our division website where staff can go, families can go to ask for support. And so we've had 166 requests that have been made for economic support through the division website link. 74% of those have been for winter attire. So it's been really interesting. We've seen a decrease in the ask for food help, and we actually believe that is due to just an increased amount of community supports available. I know SABC has been providing free meals for a week for families who are affected by COVID, and some of that grant funding is coming to an end. So we're anticipating an increase in requests for food help. But that's where we stand for that. And Brian Polsky, our community member on the committee, has secured 150 pounds of beef that is able to be distributed to students and their families. So if people are aware of a need, just contact Karen Rancier or Deanna Presley Roberts, and we'll be able to connect them with that. And I know he's going to be able to secure another 150 pounds of beef in the new year as well. So that's really fantastic to be able to help out our families in that way. So the rest of my report is before you, so I don't think I need to read all of that to you. Are there any questions for Poverty Intervention Committee? All right, seeing none, we'll move on. Correspondence, there is none at this time. 5 o'clock public forum, because it's an online submission. There is a deadline for submissions, and so there is no public forum submission for today. So we will move past that. So that takes us to our adjournment at 4:30 p.m. today. So I would just like to thank you for joining us for our public board meeting of the Lethbridge School Division. And we hope you have a fabulous holiday break and have lots of fun, lots of treats, and some outdoor adventure with people that live in your homes. So thank you. I hope everybody has a great day, and we will adjourn here and hop back into our in-camera meeting and just finish up there. Okay? Well, Merry Christmas, everyone.